Hey everybody, this is Dr. Kara of drkaragubbins.com and animalwisdomcircle.com, and this is your forecast for the week of July 10th to the 16th. And I'm going to start with that card. And I think we're going to just go, I think we're going to go back to this one. So almost straight across the board, but different cards were calling me today, not necessarily in order. So what's going on this week? Last week our energy was really about creating a vision and taking time to envision your future and try and make that happen for yourself, get that clarity on the vision. And our first card is a panda, which is really about peace and being present in the moment. Our second card is the frog, which is also about the present moment, because the frog is very much about taking right action. So you have to be right here, right now, to know if there's action necessary or not. If we're in our heads or in the future, we might be acting out of worry or fear. But if we're right here, right now, we're taking the right action for the present moment. And that's really all that we can do. That's the best that we can do. And then the chimpanzee is the third card. So, a little bit unusual that I pull all three and turn them over all at the same time in a reading. It's always interesting kind of how the energy is different each week and how it moves through me. I'm just kind of looking at these cards and feeling into them. And what's becoming really clear to me and how they relate to each other is the message from each one is really about opening up into the spiritual truth that we're all connected. And that comes from the chimpanzee. Their message to people is we are one, we are the same, we're connected. There's no real difference between us. I mean, we share 98.9% of our DNA with chimpanzees, and actually we share probably, over 80 or 90% with frogs and pandas as well. But, chimpanzees, there's very few differences in the genes. But also on a spiritual level, we are all one. We're all made of the same stuff. We're all made of the same spiritual building blocks. And to me, this month is a very kind of introspective and yet open visioning kind of a month. The energy each week is definitely following this, let's look within, but let's look without. Let's look at the bigger picture. So the panda is about bringing peace to the moment, finding the stillness in the moment. I really kind of think that some of us are going to feel challenged in the beginning of this week with feeling like we're dependent on somebody else. Pandas are so vulnerable. They have one food source. They're so dependent on their food source that if anything happens to that, they're screwed. So we may have some of that kind of a feeling in the beginning of the week, of feeling like, I can't make it on my own, or maybe, feeling overly dependent, maybe, some issues around dependency. Interdependence is the ideal. We don't always achieve it in every moment, but just be aware that there might be some challenge, something might come up around the concept of being dependent or independent or codependent. And just take this as an opportunity to look at it and just know that we're all looking at it in our own ways at the same time, because that's the energy that's up for everybody this week. And that brings me into the frog, which, frog's message to people is to trust your intuition. If there's nothing to do, don't do it. And when the time is right, you will know. It's kind of like falling in love. I remember before I fell in love, I kept saying, well, how will I know? How will I know? How does that work? And everybody would say, well, you just know, you just do. And that's how intuition works too. You just know, it's just really clear inside of you. So trust your intuition. If this challenge with, maybe it's a partner, maybe it's a close relationship, maybe it's a project, it's your relationship with a project, whatever it is, trust your intuition, follow it, really go and see where this is leading you. Because I think there's a chance for greater expansion, and that's the chimpanzee, that awareness that we're all one, that we're all connected, that we're more than just the flesh and bones of our bodies, but there's more to us than that. I feel like Frog is really leading us into this mental and spiritual expansion and a real experience of being at one with the world. And in order to learn that lesson about being one with the world, we got to kind of learn the opposite, right? We got to feel separate from something or outside of something. And that, dependent quality, that dependent issue is, can come from feeling like we're not enough on our own, but we're not ever on our own, and we're always enough. And so, but we don't know that. We don't learn that until we have the experience of the opposite. So this week to me is just really kind of guiding us through a greater awareness of an expanded vision of who we are and what we're capable of. So I'll be really curious to hear how this week goes for you. Please, as always, leave a note in the comments and let me know how this helps you, or if this is what's going on for you. And I hope you have a beautiful week. I look forward to connecting with you next time.